Hey folks, today's episode of WTF is sponsored by Children's Hospital on Adult Swim. Catch an all-new episode tonight and every Thursday night only on Adult Swim. Do it.
Lock the gate!
Are we doing this? Really? Wait for it. Are we doing this? Wait for it. Pow! What the fuck?
WTF.
And it's also, what the fuck? What's wrong with me? It's time for WTF. What the fuck?
With Marc Maron.
All right, let's do this. How are you, what the fuckers? What the fuck buddies? What the fucking ears? What the fuck nicks? I am Marc Maron. This is WTF. I'm outside. I'm walking in the streets of New York City. I've been here before, on and off in my life, quite a bit. Used to live here, as some of you know that. I'm up in the, just walking off the Times Square area down 49th Street, past a favorite pizza place of mine. I'm now walking by, like every place in this city has like weird memory triggers for me. Like this is the Sirius building, right? This is where, okay, I've done radio shows here. And we're actually headed towards 30 Rock, because I'm going to interview Jimmy Fallon. Now, of course, I've been to 30 Rock plenty. I've done Conan O'Brien a lot of times back in the day, different haircuts, different pants, occasionally the same pants, once or twice same shirt, different eyeglass frames, facial hair configurations. But I've definitely spent a lot of time taking expensive limos from down the street to this place before I realized I don't need to take a car, dude. I'll just take the subway and then I have to be stuck in traffic in a fancy car. That's besides the point. I'm going to interview Jimmy Fallon. I don't know Fallon that well. I don't think I've ever met him. Sorry about the wind, but we're outdoors here. I don't know that I don't think I've ever met Jimmy Fallon. I don't know if he listens to the show. I'm excited that he wants to do the show, but I'm a little nervous because he seems like a very well-adjusted guy. Seems like a friendly guy. Seems like a guy who's had a very charmed career, and he seems to be having a good time. So I don't want to buzzkill. I don't want to go in there and be like, dude, you got to be fucked up somehow. I want to. Well, we do share some things. We like the Rolling Stones. He got to hang out with Mick and Keith, which I find exciting. Jessica's been singing this song all day. I'm an Idiot, I'm Your Boyfriend, which I believe is taken from a Rolling Stones song. Worried About You, I believe. Look, there's a sign. See where it says NBC Studios? Isn't that great looking? There's Radio City Music Hall. There's the guy that sells that horrible meat.
Want to cross?
Yeah, we'll cross. Look at that meat on that. Who would eat that? Just like it looks like whole chicken pieces just chopped up with some Middle Eastern sauce on it. Isn't New York great? Look, there's a cupcake place. That's some high-end cupcakes. But Rockefeller Center is such a great building. Look at all the reliefs and the murals on the other side. That gold statue of that guy laying down that you see on the beginning of 30 Rock and SNL. I used to love coming up here. It was very exciting. It's like doing real television. Now we're going to have to go through some security thing. Hey, maybe we'll get a pat down. But it's very exciting that they got the big Diego Rivera murals, and then there's some murals on the inside. It's a beautiful fucking building. Art Deco paradise. I just love that sign that says NBC Studios because it looks like it's been there since like 1940. Like a classic sign. It's also a little heartbreaking for me too because I used to like do this show with Conan all the time, and I met with Lorne Michaels once. But never happened for me up there. Did you see that guy just walk by and yell into the mic? Why do people feel like they have to do that? I didn't hear what he said. Look at all these people at the NBC shop. Well, let's go into the building. I'm kind of tempted to keep recording, so they'll tell me I can't record anymore, so I can say, you don't understand, I'm going up to interview Jimmy Fallon. I just have to be careful not to call him Jimmy Kimmel. I've got that in my head that's a possibility. Oh, look at that. Rainbow Room, Observation Deck, NBC Studios. So exciting. There's a double-decker tour bus. Great line. How are you, folks? Guy with a mic on the street. Nice to see you. They used to come down and meet me, take me up to the elevator, go to the dressing room. I'm not going to get nostalgic. Let's go talk to Jimmy. Did I mention that today's episode of WTF is brought to you by Children's Hospital on Adult Swim? I'm sure many of you are fans of the show because you love Rob Corddry. He made the show. He made it up in his head. And he was on episode 140 of WTF. I don't know if you remember that, but we talked about Children's Hospital. You can go back and listen to that if you want. What was the development process of the show? I mean, what sparked the idea?
Well, I have a 4-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old daughter. My 4-year-old was 2 at the time, and she has this thing. It's called nursemaid's elbow, where a ligament, if you jerk it hard enough, her ligament will pop out.
And you learned that how?
I was beating the shit out of her one day.
Yeah.
And she popped it out.
And you said, "Why are you crying?"
Exactly.
That didn't hurt me when I was a kid.
And all of a sudden, comedy was born.
Yeah.
But it is actually just that tragic. Like, we went to Children's Hospital, the emergency room, and like, it's the least funny place on the planet, you know? And the thing that I found was not funny, but I think the idea came when I noticed that everything was like small sized.
Yeah.
Like gurneys are smaller and IVs are smaller.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that's horrible. Horrible. And somewhere in there, I had the idea for it.
It's a comedy series, obviously, but this season's pretty exciting because not only is he joined by the cast that's been with him since the beginning with people like Rob Hubel, Ken Marino, Megan Mullally, Lake Bell, Henry Winkler, to name a few, but the guest stars this season are fucking awesome. Sarah Silverman, Nick Offerman, Michael McKean, Nick Kroll, David Wayne, Paul Scheer. Wow, so many of them have been on my show. That's very exciting. Oh, here's something that you might want to know. The stars of Children's Hospital will be performing at San Francisco Sketch Fest on June 30th. So go check that out as well. For more information, go to adultswim.com, and that's Children's Hospital tonight and every Thursday night on Adult Swim.
This show was fantastic. I listened on my phone.
Oh, yeah.
You
got the app?
Yeah, I got the app.
Oh, you got my face on your phone?
Your face is on my phone. Yeah, this is my third phone your face has been on. It's a great app, and like I love it too. Even like if I get an email in the middle, I'm like, I go back and it goes, "Do you want to resume from where you left off?" I go, this is unbelievable.
And then it's me complaining again.
It's the best. No, but it's so good. It's a great show. I mean,
oh, thanks, man.
I gotta say the Dane Cook one was great. I just heard the Gallagher one was
Were
great.
you friends with Dane? I mean, for some reason I had put you in, I thought you started in Boston, but you didn't.
No. A lot of people think I'm from Boston.
Why
I'm
is
from
that?
New York. Because I did so much Boston stuff. I did on Saturday Night Live, I did these Boston characters that love Boston, and then I did a movie about a guy who loves the Red Sox.
Right. What was that
Fever
movie called?
Pitch.
Oh, Fever Pitch, not the Cab movie.
No, that's Taxi.
Right.
Or it's also known as the Cab movie as well. It's like, they're under 2 titles. It was released twice. They tried it twice. Didn't work either time. Didn't work, no. The Cab movie didn't. They thought that would be catchier. They go, people will understand what it's more about.
Yeah, Taxi's too complicated.
Yeah. Let's call it the Cab movie. And
the reason I remember that is I read for it. I read for one of those, the comedian parts where you just basically go, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Yeah,
and
get out of the way.
Yeah,
that's good.
One of those parts.
Patton Oswalt was in the Cab movie.
We were in Almost Famous together.
I knew this. Now, where are you? Are you on the bus?
I actually referred to you. Like, I was the angry promoter that said, lock the gates.
Yes.
And they crashed through the...
I love that.
And I'm chasing the bus up with the little golf
the best,
cart.
yes.
Right, and I mention your name. Like, I'm going to tell so-and-so, and then you sort of show up, you become that guy. So we actually were connected.
How fun was that? Did you enjoy that?
Sure, it was the greatest 2 minutes of cinema I've ever experienced. Sometimes
the 2 minute things are the one, though.
Yeah, no, I thought it was great.
I had 2 minutes in the Woody Allen movie. And,
you did?
It's called Anything Else.
Yeah.
It was Jason Biggs and Christina Ricci.
Uh-huh.
They also called it the Cab movie.
Yeah, the Cab movie.
Didn't work either.
Originally it was
one.
Taxi, but the first take.
Yeah, it was called Anything Else is now what it was called. But it was Woody, and I was doing the scene, and I remember I was just so hot, and I was sweating. We're in an Indian restaurant, and I just wanted some direction from Woody Allen, so I can say that I got, because he wasn't telling me to do anything. So he came over, and to talk to Christina or Jason. They were the stars, and I go, is there anything I'm doing wrong? Is there anything I could do different? He goes, no, just don't sweat. That's exactly what you want. And then he hit his head on this lamp behind him, and he got out of the way, and then he went down and talked to somebody else, and he hit his head on another lamp. He goes, I'm going to hit every lamp for symmetry. I swear. It was like, that is exactly what I wanted. I'm like, I'm so happy he talked and said something. Then I saw him the next day on Houston in New York City.
Just walking?
He was filming another scene, but I wasn't in it. I only had 2 minutes. So I saw him go, I'm eating a slice of pizza, and I go, hey, Woody, what's going on? And he backed into a brick wall. Looked like I was going to mug him or something. He was like, he just backed. It was awful. And I was like, what? And I thought I did something wrong. So I go, okay. Later, I just walked away, and I called my agent. I go, was I awful? in this movie? Like, he looked like he still wanted no part of it. Yeah. And he was kind of talking a little bit. Like, he was asking me from, I was born in Brooklyn, all this stuff, and we were talking about that, but on the movie. But this thing was like, the next actual day, he wanted nothing to do with me.
So your last experience was him backing against a brick wall?
He backed against a brick wall like I thought he was holding a gun.
I thought he was going to do a callback to the lamps. Like
for symmetry, I'm going to touch every brick wall for symmetry. No, not at all. He was just like, dude, I'm busy now. I'm over you. I dealt with you yesterday.
But yeah, that couldn't have been it. Maybe he.
I think he's just an interesting guy that doesn't like to talk. Like, he's not that outgoing.
I heard that when he directs, he doesn't like. He just lets people sort of just do it.
No, the best part. I mean, that was one of the easiest movies I worked on because they go.
Did you have Did you have a lot of lines, or was it before you? Was it like one of your first things?
One of my first things. I did Almost Famous, then this one.
Right.
And I had like a couple lines. I mean, I had like maybe 10, 15 lines.
And he was sort of hands off, aside from the sweating thing.
Yeah, totally, super hands off. Well, you get the script that day, that morning, and you got to just learn your lines that day.
Are you serious?
Oh yeah.
He cast you, and then you get your script that morning.
Yeah, no, you don't see the script. You don't. Yeah, it's a fascinating thing. You go. He casts you in this old place where he cuts his movies. Like he still cuts them with like a blade.
Yeah, yeah.
And tapes them together. That's how he cuts his movies.
Still.
Yeah. Well, he did when I did this movie, and I was like, so I met him there, and he goes. You know, just come in, just like act like you saying hello to somebody, an old friend, and he cupped his around his eyes like this.
Yeah.
And I walked in, I go, "Hey, what's up?" And I go, whatever I did. And he goes, "Yeah, I like do just that. That's great. Do that." And I go, "Oh my God, there's no way to got it right. He's just being nice to me." And I left, and they go, "He loves you. It's great. So I'll see you on this day." They go, "Do I script?" They go, "Nope, you get the script that day." I go, "All right." You go to your. I don't even think I had a trailer.
You just show up.
I might have had a trailer.
A chair? Did you have a chair?
There might have been like a bucket turned upside down.
A milk crate.
A milk crate. I sat on that. I played it for a little drum. But I remember like lunch.
Yeah.
You have to be out by 5:30 is when the day ends because he wants to make it to the Knicks game.
Right.
I know that.
Wow.
But then also lunch happens. There's no catering. So lunch they go, "All right, see you in an hour."
Really?
That's it. And I'm like, okay. So I went again, got pizza again. I was in this pizza phase, and went and got pizza and came back an hour later and was ready to go again for the scene.
And that was it.
That's the way he works.
Well, he seems like one of those guys that just needs to keep making movies no matter what, whether they're good or bad, or whether people like him or not. It doesn't matter. He's just this working guy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know if he thought he'd make this many movies.
I don't think so. I mean, I think he just keeps going. Like, I think it's helped some of those guys feel alive. I mean, it's like you were dealing with. I'm so envious of you because I'm a huge Stones guy. And I'm looking around your room, your office here, and I feel like we have a lot in common for some reason. I mean, I do, because you have Buddy Holly.
Buddy Holly in a stained glass.
But that's like, did you have that consignment too? I mean,
no, that's actually from Neil Brennan. That's from, do you know Neil?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, so that's from Neil Brennan. Neil Brennan was dating a girl, and we were just talking about Buddy Holly, and I said, that's why I love Buddy Holly. He goes, "Oh my God, are you serious or are you lying to me?" I go, "No, I love Buddy Holly." He goes, "Well then, I have something for you because my new girlfriend said there's no way we can keep this in the living room." It's a giant stained glass
with
thing.
Buddy Holly right in the center.
Yeah.
But how did you find out? Because when I was a kid, my father loved Buddy Holly, and so he plowed it into my head.
Me too.
Really?
I think that's what it is. Yeah, but my parents had a record album called Buddy Holly Lives.
We had the golden hits or something. Like it was.
Yeah, it was the greatest hits type of thing. But I think it was spray paint on brick. It said Buddy Holly.
I remember
Lives.
that. I remember that album. It's like a double album.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I started hearing that when I was like 11 or 12, like all of them over and over again, because my dad was crazy for it. That and the soundtrack of American Graffiti. And so all it's plowed into my head.
I mean, that soundtrack. My dad was really into doo-wop. You know, they're both from Brooklyn. My mom and dad are from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
My dad was really into doo-wop. My dad was also in Vietnam. He was in the Navy in Vietnam. And so and he used to sing doo-wop on the ship.
Really?
Yeah. With a couple guys from the Navy, they would all get together and sing all these doo-wop songs. We'd play, we'd drink beers and listen to, reel-to-reel tapes of him and his shipmates singing doo-wop and stuff. And so I remember watching like my first Vietnam War movie, and it's all Hendrix and the Doors, and I'm like, where's all the doo-wop?
Yeah,
this is insane. Like,
we're the doo-wop in the trenches.
Yeah, I mean, this is like where's Dion and the Belmonts? Like, I know this is what they really listened to in the real Vietnam.
Right.
It turns out, no, my dad was just a nerd. The doo-wop was way gone. Doo-wop was gone in the 50s.
Yeah.
I mean, early 60s.
Yeah.
Doo-wop was finished by 64.
So there were guys offering your dad joints, and your dad's like, "Oh, I'll just drink this beer out of a bag."
Exactly. He's living in it. He's like, he's going to smoke a cigarette in his sleeve, rolled up in his sleeve. I go, "Oh, wait, what?" So, Dad, nobody else was listening to doo-wop when you were singing? He's like, Well, I mean, certain people were still kind of around. I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought that was the Vietnam era. I thought it was all doo-wop.
Yeah. He misled you.
Yeah, and I think it was all the anti-war stuff didn't it kind of bled over, I think, to just psychedelic music in general.
Right, that whole scene, that whole all the students' rebellions, and then the music sort of
we had a
played
couple
along with
Beatles
that.
albums, stuff like that, but we didn't have any of that anti-war stuff or music in our home.
Well, I think there was also those soldiers that resonated with, like with their feelings of frustration or whatever, and they kind of. But your dad was old school, I guess.
He was old school. He was like, yeah, no, he didn't like those songs.
Was your dad drafted in, or just you don't know?
I think he volunteered.
Yeah,
I think so. I think.
Did he see action?
Draft? No.
But
he was like, it was a tough time. It was a lot of stuff going down. He was a radar man on the USS Constellation, and I think out of San Diego. He told me one funny story because he used to sing doo-wop and also get in fights, like in gangs in Brooklyn. That's what people did when he grew up.
Yeah, Irish neighborhood.
Yeah, I say Irish Italian neighborhood.
Yeah,
and so and maybe some Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Friends.
But you're pretty Irish, though, right?
Yeah. Irish and German is what I am. But I grew up with a bunch of partying and stuff like that. But anyways, my dad had kind of a short temper, as a kid, and so he's in the Navy. And I'll never forget because we just had Fleet Week on our show, and we invited all the servicemen and women to come to the show. Because I remember the story. My dad was he wanted to grow a beard. He just grew a beard, and whenever some lieutenant or something came up to him or whoever was in charge said, "You can't grow a beard. What's wrong with you? You have to ask for permission."
Yeah.
And they did something to him. They put him in some jail, or they did something to him.
Beard jail?
Beard jail.
Yeah, I heard of that.
And they it was also called the Cab movie. But Beard Jail sold more. We sold more DVDs than Beard Jail, and you'll ever say. I think they're up to like 14 sequels of that.
I think they're going to reissue Beard Jail.
They are. I think someone's doing it on Broadway.
Director's cut. Yeah, Beard.
They're doing it live. It's insane. You got to hear the music. It's
I can't wait.
But anyway, so he goes. So he gets permission to finally grow this beard. So he grows the beard, and then it's Fleet Week. He's about to leave, and they go, whoa. What are you trying to do? He's like, what? And they go, do you have what is that? What is that in your face? He's like, that's a beard. I grew a beard. And they go, that's an awful beard. And he goes, well, I know. Well, they go, we can't let you off the ship with that beard. And he goes, well, I'll go shave it. And they go, you can't just shave it. You need permission to shave this beard.
They got to be fucking with him.
Yeah, I think so. So I think he had a nervous breakdown on the aircraft carrier, which I would have done the same thing.
Did he kick some ass?
I think he went to.
Yeah.
He probably went to hit this guy. And then said, no, I'm not doing this. This is insane. I don't know. You're trying to drive me nuts.
Did he get off the ship?
No. Stayed on the ship and went crazy.
So you get along? Is he still around?
Yeah.
And you guys are pals?
Yeah. I talk to him all the time. I talk to him once a day. That's probably him calling right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he still over in Brooklyn? Where's he with?
No, they moved to upstate when me and my sister were like 2 years old. We all moved out of Brooklyn.
So like when you say short temper, because my dad was sort of a nut too. I mean, all around, you're constantly your whole childhood was like, oh God, what's going to happen?
Well, he was the mean one. I mean, he didn't really, he didn't like hit everybody. He didn't hit us or hit my mom or anything. But like he was the guy like our mom was a softie.
Yeah.
We could get away with stuff.
So there's a lot of hiding behind mom.
Yeah, we go, come on, Mom, let's take care of us. But my dad would be like, I'm gonna turn this thing around, like that type of thing. But he wouldn't say it. He would just do it and like step on the gas really quick, like, all right, you guys want to go to the mall then? Then we're gonna go to the mall. Here we go. Like peel out and stuff. And like we're crying in the back seat. My mom's like, we shouldn't go to the mall now, right? The kids are crying. This is insane. And he's like, oh, we're going to go. We promised, right? Everyone wants to go. So let's go. Let's do this. Like, now you're going to have fun, right? And we're crying. I remember like fun things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, he wasn't, but now we get along real well.
That's fucking great. And your mom too?
Yeah. They should both be in insane asylums. But I talk to them all the time. My mom is just the number one embarrassing person to me.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah. She goes, my mom does that too.
I mean, scenes like the worst one is I go. Once I got on Saturday Night Live, she told everybody,
Yeah.
he's on Saturday Night Live. He did this. Did you see the baby on this? She calls me the baby.
Oh, really? Still?
Yeah. I shave. I mean, please.
How many siblings do you got?
One sister, Gloria.
And she's older?
Yeah, 1 year older. Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, that doesn't make her feel good. Yeah, I'm the baby. This is the dumbest thing. So
the baby did the Cab movie.
Yeah, the baby's like, stop calling me the baby. It's ridiculous. So she goes, I go home to visit. And she goes, let's go out to dinner. And I go, I don't want to come home to go out. I live in New York City. You think there's a good restaurant in New York City? I don't come to Socrates to go out, but all right, if you want to go out to dinner, let's go out to dinner. I just don't embarrass me. Let's not do a big thing. I don't want to. I hate to make a big splash. When I go home to visit my friends, I just want to go, and drive around. I never, I have like maybe 2 or 3 friends there. I'm friendly with everybody, but I don't make a big deal. So she goes, all right. So we find this place. We pull in. She goes, we sit down. She goes, I don't like where I'm sitting. I go, don't start. Yeah. Don't start this place. Yeah. So she goes, all right. So she orders something like lamb chops or something crazy. And I order what I'm having, and everything comes, her meal comes last, which is, so now her temper's crazy. So she's like, I'm not going to eat this thing when it comes. I don't care. I go, don't make a scene. I asked you not to, didn't I ask you not to make a scene? She goes, yeah. So finally her thing comes. I go, my dad goes, just have. My dad's like, he's a voice of reason. He goes, just have something. Yeah. So she eats this thing. I'm not kidding. She starts choking. Yeah.
On purpose?
No, I don't know.
Really?
She's really knocking things over now, standing up. A woman comes running over, starts giving my mom the Heimlich. Yeah. My dad's got his finger in her mouth, trying to pull food out of her mouth. She's going like, this woman like lifting my mom in the air. A lamb ball flies out, hits the wall. She's crying, and we sit down. She's crying, going, "Oh my gosh!" And I go, "Thanks for not making a scene." Thanks for not. Are you joking? And my dad goes, "Let's just finish the dinner." And everyone, I go, "Finish the dinner. We're getting out of here. We're buying that nurse, a bottle of wine, and we're getting out of here. This is the worst experience. I asked for the opposite of this. Can't believe you would do this."
Well, at least you didn't die.
At one point, my dad was thinking about it. Like, he saw that nurse come over. My dad was like, "Hey, mind your own business. If she wants to choke, you let her choke, right? What's your problem? Butt out.
Let nature take its course."
Exactly. That's what God wants, right? What are you butting in for? So I grew up with that type of, I think, very, they're very funny people, but very she just does these things like hilarious stuff like that.
I can't. I'm still trying to deal with the fact that I had to watch you. Hang out with the Stones, because I am a big Stones fan, and I just finished the Keith Richards autobiography, and like I was a huge Keith Richards fan my whole fucking life, and it's weird. Like, I don't know what your experience was. Well, you're going to tell me, but like I had this idea in my head since I was a little kid about what he is, because if you love him, you're like, hey, he's fucking rock and roll junkie, dude, and then you read this book, you're like, holy fuck, he's smart. He's a great storyteller. He remembers almost everything. Like the myth and like Keith Richards in my mind just became even bigger and better.
It's amazing.
But the moment where
he came on, no, I know. I mean, I didn't even think I was worthy.
But you're a huge Stones fan, right?
Giant. I'd say Rolling Stones is my band. Rolling Stones, Beatles.
Right. My girlfriend all day. She today in the hotel. She pulled up "I'm an Idiot, I'm Your Boyfriend," your song. Yeah. And that's that's "Worry About You." It's like a Stones dance mix, right?
It is. It is doing like a emotional rescue type of voice.
Right. Yeah. Which is great. I've all of a sudden became this new appreciator of mixed falsetto recently.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Sweet Thing.
Yeah.
The solo stuff.
I know. It's just, I don't know. I'm like a little too much of a purist to really embrace the solo stuff. But certainly on
Sweet Thing I would dig. I like that one. That's a good one. It's like very falsetto. Like, in the beginning, when things were simple.
Yeah, but it's good. Like I think I condescended to it at some point. I listened to it recently because I was reading the Keith Richards book, and I'm like, that's fucking great. It's a great record. How was it for you to meet Keith? I mean, after.
Well, the thing was, it was the Stones. They were re-releasing Exile on Main Street with a documentary.
Right. I remember. Yeah.
So I went to a fashion show, no less. Yeah. And I went to a fashion show, and Loren Scott is his girlfriend. Yeah. And so I went up and saw Mick. We did a sketch on Saturday Night Live once before, and I go, hey, what's going on? How you guys doing? He goes, well, I heard you got a show, you got a talk show, and that's great. I hope it's going great. And I go, if there's anything I can do, anything at all, let me know. I'd love to do something. He's like, well, we do have a documentary coming out. It's very good about exile and all stuff and what happened and how we got to make that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm in. Like, we stop right here. Let's talk to what we got to talk to. Like, I will do a whole week. Yeah, dedicated to that. And he's like, well, maybe we could work on something out where we'll play it, or we'll do a primetime thing where you host or do something. I'm like, what? This is crazy. So I go immediately. Lorne Michaels is at the party, and I go, Lorne, I'd love to do this. Like, what do we have to do? So we start talking to them. Then we talk to another booker, who goes, I'll work with Budweiser. I can see if I can get Budweiser on this, and we'll get, because we have no budget at 12:37 at night, or whenever it is. He goes, but if we can get all these, we get some bands just to do their favorite songs from Exile, and then Friday night, just air the documentary, and just watch it with a crowd. It's never been done. Like, why not? Why not?
Yeah.
It's like, it'll be fun.
And that's interesting. That's the way it came about, because there was this moment in my mind. I'm like, did Lauren wrangle this? And it was all just you running into Mick
and just saying hi and whatever, offering a favor. And it's like,
as a fan. Let's
as
do
a
it.
total fan, freaking out. So then I had no idea Keith Richards is going to want to do anything, or Charlie.
Yeah, because you don't even get the sense that they really hang out anymore. Like it's some sort of chore.
In fact, I was there. I actually went to a hotel room. I can't believe I don't remember where they were staying, but I went to their hotel room, to Keith's hotel room, just to talk to him and about what bits I might want him to do. We had like a pros and cons written up for about the pros and cons of the record, and then we have Charlie and doing a bit where he doesn't talk. You know, that always kills it. If you see him live, Charlie Watts is the coolest man in rock and roll. Like
with his suit.
He just cut to a man not talking and gets the biggest round of applause. So I go, we have a couple of those. He goes, anything with Charlie can just do that, and then Keith was like, that sounds good. And he had a cigarette, and he go, here's what I'm thinking for you, if you don't mind. If I would say, ladies and gentlemen, here is one of the greatest guitarists of all time, Mr. Keith Richards. Curtain opens, you walk out, you wave, and you just keep walking. You leave this. You walk right past me. Yeah. He goes, I like that. That's great. Yeah. That'll be very. That'll be great. I think that'll be funny. I'd like to do that. Yeah. So then Jane Rose is there, and she's like, "Are you sure you want to do that, Keith?" He's like, "Yeah, it's great." He goes, "In fact, let's just sit down, we'll talk. We'll just have a quick chat." She's like, "No, Keith, this is a talk show where he's like, I know what it is." Yeah. It's like, and Lauren's like, Lauren was there too, and he's like, "I think it'd be fun. You and Jimmy just talk about whatever, and then we'll cut down and be fine." He goes, "Yeah, why not? I don't care." Yeah. She's like, "Okay."
She's nervous.
Yeah. She's like, he would never say yes to this, so I don't know what this is, but let me get back to you guys this afternoon. Yeah. So I come back.
That's so funny.
I got pit stains. I'm like sweating like crazy. I'm like, did he just we hit it off. Clearly, like he saw that I wasn't going to do anything silly or try to pull something, Right. Which I think is, as while I'm doing the show, I'm realizing is what is good for our show and what gets us guests, because they realize we're not going to pull anything for a stunt or ask about something crazy.
You're actually doing what talk shows are supposed to do, which is make the guests look good.
Look good. Yeah.
Right.
That's my goal. Yeah. That's all I have. That's all they pay me to do.
So okay. So what happens? So she's there worrying that Keith has just agreed to something, as if it's so funny that he has somebody there to sort of second guess him. Like, I don't know what just happened. He seems to like you, and he's agreed to something. Let me talk to him.
Yeah, let me see if he really means this. It seems weird. So then we got to call back to Ashley. She says he loves it. He wants to do that, and he definitely wants to do the walking out and waving bit. Yeah. And then he'll sit down and talk to him. Right. I go, this is amazing. And in the meantime, I was talking to Mick about anything we could do. He goes, is there anything we could do for that? So I said, well, for his bit. So I said, well, here's, it's a whole week of Stone's songs, but we have to fill in with comedy bits and stuff. So at the time, we were spoofing Lost. It's one of my favorite shows. So we were trying to do Desmond, the character Desmond from Lost, where he's just typing in the code. Yeah. 0, 6, whatever the numbers were. If he doesn't type in the code every minute 30, the world comes to an end. That was the rumor of the show. So I said, in this one though, I want maybe it's Mick going like, "Yeah, come on, all right, we can do this. Yeah, come on, all right, we can do this." I go, and if he doesn't do that, every 10 seconds the world comes to an end. So first of all, Mick is going. He goes, right. He was on the phone, pitching 1,000 ideas, and he's like, right, but why am I doing? Yeah, come on, all right. Why am I doing that? I go, it's just like something you would do, like if you're on stage or something when you're really into screaming. He's like, because I like Lost, so I can. Let me think about that. I like that idea. Yeah. So cut to, we're getting a jumpsuit with the Dharma Initiative thing from Mick Jagger, and we're putting him in a room with a microphone where he has 4 different microphones. He's doing, all right, come on, we can do this. So that's happening as well as Keith's coming on, and it's the craziest thing. And then Mick always he's just the nicest. He is so. These guys are uber duper unbelievable rock stars. You just feel it. You go like, they invented it. I can't hang with these guys. Yeah. There's no way I can hang with them. Yeah. But there's moments where you can hang, where they just don't feel like doing that, and they're just like, yeah. So then we did that thing, and they're just chill and talk. Yeah. So that's where I was like, that's where I think we hit it off.
But did they invite you to like come on the road or anything like that? Or like
I went back to a couple cool parties at this Mick's hotel room.
Yeah.
Me and Billy Joe Armstrong and Mick played piano till like 4 or 5 in the morning, something like that.
Really?
Just like, yeah, and I was like, because it was all Billy Joe, because he's like, come on, Mick, do something.
Right.
You got to play something. Just give me anything. And Mick's like, oh, I don't want to. I don't want to. And I was just chugging gin tonics. I was just like so nervous. And so then he played a brand new song, and it sounded good. And then I got on the piano, drunk, and played Blueberry Hill. This is like one of the only songs I know. I don't know if
That's
I learned it from
Domino.
Happy Days. Probably.
Yeah.
I think that's what Richie plays.
Right. Right.
I found my boom.
Yeah.
Boo doo 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 doo.
That's another one I got from my dad.
That means Fat Domino's phenomenal.
Yeah.
So I play. Mick starts singing Blueberry Hill with me. So I'm like, this is insane. So already it's a win, right? I'm freaking out. And then Billy Joe comes over. He's laughing. Then it's like off to the races. Then Mick goes, oh, I'll play another one. He plays Waiting on a Friend. Oh no, he goes Fool to Cry.
Oh, really?
He plays Fool to Cry by himself on the piano.
Wow.
Daddy, you're a fool to cry, and it makes me wonder why.
Yeah.
I mean, it was me and Lauren was there.
Lauren was there?
Yeah. it
Now,
was
what's
me.
Lauren doing during all this?
He's just hanging. He's just having a drink. We were just all just chilling out. He's watching, laughing. Yeah, he's a good guy to hang out and to party with.
Is he?
Oh, he's great. Because he gets it, and he's intelligent. He can have a great conversation, but he'll also laugh.
Well, I read, I read the Keith Richards. Did you read the Keith Richards book?
Yeah, phenomenal.
It's fucking. And I read the War for Late Night about the Conan thing, and Lauren's in that, and he actually comes out as sort of this almost sage-like presence in that book. And I've only got one experience with him. I jumped through the hoops to audition for
I was going to say, did you? Yeah.
Yeah, in '95 or I can't remember, but it was a very awkward thing. The experience I had with him was it's completely memorable and completely intimidating and odd to me. So when people know him like you do as just a guy, I can't imagine what that relationship's like. When you first auditioned for him, what was your experience? What were you doing? You were doing stand-up, basically, right?
I was doing stand-up at the Improv in L.A. I was doing I just got Saturday nights. I had probably 15 minutes.
Impressions and singing?
Yeah.
And were you studying, where were you, I mean, were you?
I was going to the Groundlings, studying at it, do improv.
How old
at
were
the
you?
Groundlings. 22.
Uh-huh. I think I know your first manager, but she.
Yeah, Randy Siegel.
Right.
You must have known her.
Yeah,
I've seen you
know.
before
Yeah.
at clubs and stuff like that.
Right. I remember Randy Siegel talking about you. I don't know what happened to her.
She was great. Yeah, I think she works for
National Lampoon for a while, and then I don't know where she went.
It's like at the comedy thing on MySpace now, is what she does.
MySpace.
Yeah.
Is that still?
Do you remember? It's also called. the Cab movie. Yeah.
I think
neither one worked.
I
Yeah.
have to Google it later.
She does that, but she was great. She was a good, great manager, and really pushed for me to get the audition and stuff like that. So I was out in L.A. Doing middle of the week stuff. David Gee, Brett Walco. I don't know if you know those guys. They were the MCs there. Mm-hmm. And I remember actually my first Saturday night, I went in and I see Jerry Seinfeld.
Right.
This is at the peak of Seinfeld.
Right.
And I'm freaking out.
Right.
Because I go, oh my gosh. So I go, this is how old it is. I run out to the street, payphone, and I call my mother. I go, you won't believe Jerry Seinfeld just walked in the improv.
Did you do that thing that happened in The King of Comedy? It's like, Jerry Langford. Talk to my mother. She's got cancer.
No, the phone wouldn't reach. I would know. But my mom goes, I think at that point she goes, is Shoshana there? Because this is when he was dating.
Oh, so she was up on the gossip.
She was up on the gossip, yeah. So I go, I don't know. I can't believe I don't think I heard he's not doing stand-up, but how cool is that? She's like, that's great. I'm so happy for you. And, it's just telling cool stories.
Right.
So I get in, and he decides to go up. And he gets up, standing ovation, not even saying anything.
Right.
Then he tells every great joke. He tells the dry cleaning joke. He crushes, leaves, standing ovation again. They go, all right, who's next on the list? This is my first. It's like we got I forget who it was. And he was right next to me. He goes, I'm not following that. Forget it. I'm not on. I don't want to go. They go, all right, well, who's Jimmy Fallon? Jimmy Fallon.
Fallon.
Yeah. I go, that's me. He's like, all right, well, you're up now. I go, oh my gosh. So luckily for me, I was an impressionist. So I go, I had a Seinfeld.
You did.
So yeah. So I walked on and I had these. It's a doll. Someone gave me a troll doll, and that was my whole act.
A troll doll was your whole act.
The whole act, yeah. I mean,
what does that mean?
Someone got me a doll, and what I would do is I do impressions of different people doing a commercial for the doll.
Okay.
So I would do Bill Cosby going like, look at the thing with this lip having down and having man, and then I do, I did Seinfeld. So I came out and like, look at these dolls, look at his hair. Who plays with these dolls? Their arms and legs don't move. What kind of fun can you have with a doll like this? Where they doesn't even have any pants on. It's this is the weird, and so I did that first. I said like, hello, my name is Jimmy Fallon. Welcome to Troll Doll, Productions or something. And here's the auditions for the commercial for who's going to sponsor the next line of Troll Dolls. First up, Mr. Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
Then I did Seinfeld. Then it worked.
Was it quiet in the room though? People were like, "What the fuck?"
Oh
like,
yeah,
they're
people,
still
people were talking.
Right,
yeah.
Right.
And this is back when you could still smoke.
Yeah.
So I couldn't really see anyone's face, which helped.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Because
Sure.
There used to be a part where you couldn't see the whole
With the
audience.
improv, you can only see those first few tables.
First
right
few,
there.
yeah. So it was like I saw them, and they were kind of being nice, polite, and I was young, so they were just like,
okay,
God, this is gonna be awful.
I hope this kid.
I feel bad for this guy. He's gonna really tank.
Yeah.
And then so I did that. It kind of worked, and then I would put the troll doll down. And then I talk about something. I don't know what I talk about. Going to the movies or some. It wasn't that great, but I was like, anyone here ever go to the movies?
Yeah.
It's like, what am I talking
Movies,
about?
huh? You see the Cab movie?
The Cab? Nobody?
Yeah.
Really?
It's not out yet. I'm going to be in it in 5 years.
Wait, 5 years, you're going to love this thing, man. So I would just do like stand-up about that type of stuff, I felt good. And I go, that was my first big hurdle, and I did it.
Yeah.
And so I immediately, then I finished my act. I added music, where I did music impersonations about the troll doll. I mean, gosh, this troll doll was a lot for me. So then, that was my whole act. So then I left, and I immediately called my mom again on the payphone. I go, you wouldn't believe, I just followed Jerry Seinfeld.
Yeah.
He got off the stage, and I had to, and I told the whole story, and I was like,
Isn't that
freaking.
payphone out in front of the improv?
Yeah, in front and to the left.
I know where it is.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's still there anymore, but that's where.
It's there.
And I was like, I just couldn't believe it.
What'd she say?
She was so proud. Everyone, she was like, I can't tell everybody. Oh my gosh.
The baby followed Seinfeld.
The baby followed, exactly, completely. So I was like, but she loved when I did the improv because they fed you. You ate food there. You know? Like they still paid you $7.25.
Right.
But they paid you food.
Yeah. Those checks are always embarrassing to get. Because you don't even remember it.
I have a photocopy of
the first check?
Yeah.
Yeah?
$7.25.
It's not on the wall in here.
No, it's not on the wall in here. No, this is not on the wall in here.
Did you decide on this, like the copper ceilings and everything? Is this your look?
Yeah.
It's nice. I've never seen copper ceiling inlaid like that, where just like standard asbestos type of.
Yeah, it's just the awful office lighting.
And then you have a giant pickle in a skylight.
Now this is a gift, believe it or not.
You get some odd gifts.
This was a
Is it especially made by Dean?
Vlasic made this especially for me. No, what happened was I guess the writers of Letterman gave it to Conan,
right,
and said, "Good luck with your show."
Okay,
and then Conan gave me the pickle and said, "Give this to the next schlub who gets the job." He goes, "It's good luck." And so I had a pickle lying around the office, and so I just figured I'd put it up in the ceiling and kind of light it up so it looks like a museum piece a little bit.
Holy shit! Hold on, I'm gonna grab my camera.
Yeah,
I'm shooting. I'm shooting flip footage during the audio interview. Is always great.
You have to.
I'll send people to the site.
I don't think either one wins. I think the people watching hate it and the people listening don't like it either. But
there's the Buddy Holly, and then we'll get to the Carson. That's a great picture of Carson. We'll get to that later. All right. So okay. So you get an audition for SNL.
Yeah, so it's at the comic strip
right
in New York, and this is Lucian.
Yeah,
Lucian's Club.
You're not very good. We have a lot of white guys that do impressions.
Yeah. But it's kind of it's fun for me because at this time I've never done this club.
There. Okay, yeah.
So I walk in, I see the headshots all over the walls,
all of them,
of all these famous people.
Yeah.
I go, "Wow, this is unbelievable! I know that guy from
when I was a
Evening
kid.
At the Caroline's, remember the Caroline's used to be a TV show on, and then this one's. I mean, there was stand-up shows all over television. That's how I knew.
Seinfeld when he was 12.
I knew. I knew. I remember. Gosh, I can't even remember now.
Dennis Wolfberg.
Oh, his eyes. I mean, come on, Dennis Wolfberg. But I would see those people and like John Mendoza,
right?
And I go, oh my gosh, that's John Mendoza. That guy was so funny.
He'd be so happy to hear you say that. I'm going to make sure that I hope he listens.
Oh, I loved him. I thought he's fantastic, great comedian. But I watched these guys. Like Fox had a show with all stand-ups on it. A&E had the evening. They have Evening at the Improv, and they also had
Comedy on the Road.
Caroline's at the Seaport, which is
The original Caroline show. The
Colin on the
Seaport.
Road, and then Ha began,
Yeah.
and half-hour comedy hour with Wally Collins was great.
And
so
then stand-up Short Attention Events Theater, which I hosted towards the end. Do you remember me?
I
at all?
do. Come on, are you kidding me? Come on, of course. That's what I'm saying.
With
These were
Frank Santarelli.
Frank Center. Oh my God, he's
How
fantastic.
funny was he? So fucking funny.
Was he? Did he do that bit about the chapstick?
Yeah.
That was such a great bit. I was
the
love
guy.
that.
I'm going to kick your ass.
Yeah,
or
I'm gonna
whatever.
kick you. He goes, you never look tough drinking out of a crazy straw.
Right. The crazy straw thing.
Yeah, you better watch it. I'm gonna kick your ass, buddy.
Yeah. yeah.
He's like pulling out chapstick. You better watch it, man. He was great. I
He
loved
was
it.
so funny,
I used to study all those things. So I
Yeah.
used to see these people. I saw like freaking out. So I go in. I'm nervous. Lauren, everyone, apparently Marcy Klein, they're all sitting in there at the comic strip, and I go in, and it just tanks. I did the troll bit. I had 3 minutes to get into it, which I just knew I was just too. I don't know if I was too nervous. I wasn't ready. I couldn't get into this troll bit.
Yeah.
I honestly wasn't ready. I was
Yeah.
like, I needed to get hit.
Were you freaked out though?
Yeah, well, it was a big audition. This
Yeah.
is my goal, my whole life. If I ever cut a piece of birthday cake, if I ever threw a coin in the fountain, saw a shooting star, I'd say I want to be on Saturday Night Live.
Really?
That's my number one. That's what I want to do with my life. Always have. I don't. I mean, since then I've made other wishes, but they've all been different. But that was since I was 15 to when I got the show. That's all I wanted to do. That was my ultimate goal. Mm-hmm. So I freaked out, and I went up, and I'm like. I did the whole troll intro. I did Seinfeld, and just nothing worked. It was just like, this is awful,
Horrible.
So I go to the diner.
Was it like
next
a
door.
weeknight?
It was a weeknight.
But
It was
so-
packed. It just everyone got 3 minutes to go up, and that was the year they hired Tracy Morgan.
That was the year I auditioned.
Is that right?
What is that like?
It was 95-ish.
Yeah,
because I got the show in 98.
Oh, because I was sitting in that waiting room with Tracy, and his hair looked so good. That was the only thing I remember.
His hair was perfect.
Yeah, it was like sheened. It was like perfect. Like, and I knew him kind of.
I don't remember anyone that night.
And I was sitting there,
I
and
was just in a daze.
yeah, I wonder if I was on that fucking night.
We could find out, right? Lucian's had to have it on videotape. It's awful. Either way, I wish if you do find it, don't ever air it. It's so bad.
Holy shit! I wonder because I was sitting in Lauren's office with Tracy, like he was going in after me,
No,
and he like had the eye.
I think it was around the same time.
it must have been.
Yeah, because that was it. That was the only audition they had. Then I had to wait 2 years for the next audition.
Oh, they had me do a screen test in Conan Studio, and
Really?
and then I met with Lauren.
that was the same year.
Wild.
So you were at the comic strip.
I must have been.
Isn't that weird that we were in the same place at the same?
Well, how could I not remember? I know what joke I did.
Was it funny? Yeah,
Well, it was a joke about William Faulkner, working as a night watchman at the University of wherever in Oxford. Like I'd heard that he worked. So like and I just pictured these frat guys, always bugging. Let's go fuck with the night guard. And then like him just sitting in there writing, saying something like, I'll show them. They're not even going to be able to understand this.
that's how he gets back at the frat guys. Yeah.
So
No, I flopped that one. It was bad. It was awful. And I went to that diner next door.
right down on the corner.
And I went there and I had a coffee and
The sad coffee.
I had a sad coffee
Then the failure sandwich.
with my manager, who was really great and
Yeah.
very supportive. And I go, I'm sorry. I know for a fact I screwed up.
Yeah.
And then went back out to L.A. I kept taking lessons with the Groundlings. I took acting lessons. I started taking acting lessons with Gordon Hunt, Helen Hunt's dad. And I remember I wouldn't do anything. I wouldn't participate in anything because I read somewhere that James Dean didn't do that for his acting. It's the stupidest advice, but I read it somewhere.
Yeah. And
I was
how'd that
reading
go
about-
over?
Oh, off. I mean, it didn't. Well, you saw the Cab movie, right? You tell me how it went over. Yeah, it wasn't that. But my acting, I go like, because as a stand-up, you don't know how to act with other people because you're on stage by yourself. Right. So the Groundlings, that's why the Groundlings is good, or Second City or UCB or any of that stuff. It's all good stuff.
That's a good point.
Because you get to listen to other people. You don't know how to listen to other people and react.
Because I always wondered why that is. Because most of the time, it's a rare thing when comics can listen. Because you can always see them thinking about what they're going to do next.
Yep, completely.
But you learned how to do it, it seems.
Well, I eventually, I think my manager or someone told me, you're being stupid. You're not James Dean.
Right.
You have to start acting.
Yeah.
So I started doing, I just started getting out there more and getting on stage. Like Groundlings, I would do my bit and like run off the stage. Because I was embarrassed. I don't know. Was it good? I'm just so doubting myself. But then at that point, after I didn't get SNL, I just felt, well, I can't get worse.
Yeah.
So I just started enjoying stuff. I enjoyed stage time, and I started expanding my act.
That was
a
a moment
more.
where you decided to enjoy things.
For a little bit, yeah.
Because I think you have that. I think that it's one of the great strengths that you have is that you seem to have a good time.
I like to enjoy. I really do. Yeah, I know. If people think, oh my gosh, he breaks all the time, he laughs. I just do it because I'm really having fun. I wish the camera wasn't on me because a lot of the times I luck out in the camera. You don't even know half the time I'm laughing because it's like, oh man, that was too funny.
Did people get mad at you though during SNL? Because I mean, there was a period there where you did a lot of that.
Yeah, there was that one season where Will was about to leave, where he would just go for it, and that was his goal, was to try to make me laugh somehow. So then everyone.
You knew that going into a bit that.
Oh yeah, they knew they were going to get me. Like, we do the hot tub bit.
Yeah.
And Will would have his hand like by my leg,
yeah.
and every time I talk, he'd squeeze me like he's operating me like a puppet. I would just, and not only that, but he was being really funny. So I'd be like, this is insane. And then there's nowhere to go because you're stuck in a hot tub.
Yeah, yeah.
So he knew I was going to break.
Yeah.
Because if you increase the height of not being able to turn around or leave, like a church or a library, I'm lost. I'm done. I'm the first guy. I'll leave. I'll cough up blood.
Yeah.
I have to get out.
Yeah.
I'll laugh too hard. I've been at funerals where I'm like, I got to get out of here.
You can't stop.
I'm laughing too much.
So it's organic.
It's too funny.
Did Lauren ever get on you about that?
Yeah, I mean, Dusty Cook didn't like it. McKay didn't like it. No one liked it.
When he broke? Because why? Because you thought they thought you were stealing stage?
Yeah. I think so. Or just, yeah.
But they're still friends with you. It wasn't like, fuck you.
Well, I told them all. I said, look, I don't know what to say. I'm apologizing. It's like, don't write me in. So I can say I don't do it on purpose. I'm so sorry. I apologize. I hope it didn't ruin your sketch, And, Cowbell was probably one of the most famous ones where I broke laughing, because I was up to do my line. There's a sketch called Cowbell.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it's called Blue Oyster Cult is the name of the sketch, where Will is playing the guy who plays Cowbell on Don't Fear the Reaper.
Yeah.
So, and Christopher Walken's the producer, Bruce Dickinson.
Yeah.
So he comes out, and so he just wants more cowbell, and so it's a really weird sketch. And Will keeps whacking on this cowbell, and it's clearly overpowering the whole band. Chris Parnell can't sing; he can't hear his voice. No, and then they go, "I'm sorry, can we stop this take?" And Christopher Walken would come out, and he goes, "What was wrong? That take was great, except my only note I have is I'd like to hear a little bit more cowbell." So he kept doing that, and Will's like, "I know, right? I'm just trying to play." His name was Gene or something, which is the perfect name.
Yeah.
So then him and Catan get into some fake scuffle and then comes my line. So he goes like, "Come on, Gene," and they push, and Catan pushes Will. First of all, Will on air, he wears a different size shirt, size too small.
Yeah.
So his stomach's hanging out, his guts hanging out the bottom of it.
Yeah.
And so Catan pushes him, and his sunglasses fall off. And his eyes hit me, and it looked like I was looking at Charles Manson's face. Like his eyes, he was like, he's sweating, he's like, and his guts hanging out, and I was like, and I just like, gosh, I've never played with a funnier human being in my life. In my life. I've never seen a funnier human being ever.
Yeah.
And then I had to say like, yeah, you're ruining it for us, Gene, or whatever my line was, but man, that was good.
Yeah.
And then, and so then, when they made the best of Will Ferrell, I think that's where it really kind of blew up that I laughed at myself because all the best of him was me laughing at him. And it's like I've done other stuff where I don't laugh. I mean, the sketch isn't funny.
Yeah.
You don't want to watch the sketch, but the ones that are funny, I laugh at. It's not. I'm sorry, I'm doing this, and it's like, sometimes I'd be lucky the camera would cut away, and I'd laugh we did a sketch called Cork Soakers, where it was in Italy, and me and Horatio were two guys that. The tour is coming through our place in Tuscany in Italy, and this is where we do the soaking of the corks. They soak them in water before they put them in the bottle. It makes it easier to put in the bottle. Of course, it's not real, but Higgins just made it. Steve Higgins wrote that, and he made it up. So the joke it basically is like, I'm a cork soaker. I mean, I've been soaking corks my whole life. You kidding me? Sometimes I like the long, skinny ones. I like the soak of the dark ones. They're the gray ones. So then like the women come in like, I don't have a cheese, but I still like the soak of the cork. And like it's all silly stuff. Yeah. Then Janet Jackson is there, and every time the camera was on Janet Jackson, me and Horatio would be laughing. So she's trying to hold a straight face, but we're lost. But the camera's not on us. Yeah. So every time they cut to us, we'd regain our composure and go with it. But there was those couple of years where Will would he'd just do something just for the cast. He'd make us all happy. Like there was a sketch where it was like a Scarlet Letter type of sketch, but his Scarlet Letter was BJ. Yeah. So he's being banished. you know, like Esther Prynne or whatever. So
Yeah.
Hester Prynne, and so he has to be banished. So Chris Parnell was like, all right, now you have to be banished to the woods, and Will's supposed to go, okay, and he leaves. But on air, Chris Parnell goes, all right, you have to be banished to the woods, and Will goes, no, no. He goes, now you have to be banished. No. He just starts yelling no, yelling like a little baby, yelling no back to him. And we all just started losing it because it's like, what are you doing? He's just screwing with everybody to have fun, you know?
Yeah.
He's just a great guy.
And did he ever get in trouble?
No. Because he was on his way out anyway. He was off to do movies.
So when you did that, so when you finally did meet with Lauren, when you got the show, how was it? Was it weird? Was it?
It was amazing. I was out in Los Angeles. I just did a really low budget film called, I think it's now called The Scheme if you buy it on DVD.
Was that the original title or?
No.
What was
a lot of my movies. I'm gonna make you write your own joke on this one. The original title. It could have easily been the other one, but it wasn't. No, it was. I forget what it was originally called.
Taxi, the prequel.
It was had nothing to do with the cab at all. Even though I think there was a scene in a taxi, but it was. I don't know. It was just some movie, and it was fun. And young actors. And we did this movie. It was low budget, and on the movie, I get a call to do this television show for the WB.
Right.
Called Tasty Sensations or something about a bunch of black women who start their own catering company, and I play the white kid like a skater kid who drives the van. Mm-hmm. So I said, they want you for the show. I said, I'd love to do it. I said, but I just auditioned for Saturday Night Live, and I really, if I get it, I want to be able to get out and do Saturday Night Live. And they go, no. I go, well then, thank you so much. I'd rather not do this show.
Yeah.
So I think what became, my attorney said he's never done anything like that before. They actually wrote up, because it was the day of the reading, they go, all right, well, just give him this out. When is this kid's not going to be on Saturday Night Live? So they gave me an out, a contractual out, that if I got Saturday Night Live, I could leave the sitcom.
Yeah.
Which is ridiculous. So anyways, I get the sitcom, and I get this thing in my contract, and weirdly enough, Saturday Night Live calls. I said, Lauren Michaels wants to meet you. I go, this is unbelievable. So
before you even shot the
no one can believe it. The Independent, I shot everything. No one can believe it. They go, this is insane. They all like me, so they're like, this is so huge. Go for it, buddy. I hope the next Eddie Murphy. This is the greatest thing in the world. Everyone's happy for me. So I meet Lauren on Paramount Lot, and I wait in the waiting room for 3 hours.
What was he doing out there?
He has an office in the Paramount Lot.
Oh, really?
That's where he does like Wayne's World, and he's made like a couple movies for Paramount. Tommy Boy, I think, all at the Paramount. Mean Girls, that's Paramount too. But so he has an office in Paramount Lot, which is a really cool studio lot. I think it was my first audition ever when I was out in LA, which they all suck.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget walking on and going like, this is pretty cool. It's like they were shooting the Brady Bunch movie.
Yeah.
It's just amazing.
It's like the real thing.
Hey, so a Klingon smoking a cigarette and having a coffee on the side of the back lot. It's just fun.
Yeah, I went and interviewed Ray Romano over there. That's where they do their thing.
He was one of the nicest comedians ever to me.
Yeah.
Ever.
He's a sweet guy in general.
Yeah, like he really is. That was one of those things where you go like, I'm so happy he made it because he was a nice guy. Anyway, so I meet Lauren, and 3 hours later I walk in, everything's white.
In his office. So you're waiting for 3 hours and you walk in.
I walk into a white room. Yeah. So clearly I died or something happened. So, and he's got his feet up on the desk, he's chilling, he goes, Jimmy, do you ever wear wigs? And at the time my hair was kind of spiked up. And I go, I just do this. I do this myself to my hair. He goes, no, I'm saying for different characters because we want you for the show. Yeah. And then the rest was like slow motion. I was like, and I just said like,
sure. Do you want me to wear wigs?
I'm going to work so hard for you. I'm telling you, I won't let you down. I will be a good cast choice. I'm going to really work hard. Yeah. And that was I left there, and then I just planned my trip back to New York, back to my family, back to my friends. I mean, it was crazy. You know,
wow.
Out in L.A., I really didn't have that. That.
So it just was one question: do you ever wear wigs?
Yeah.
And you said.
I do this to my hair. Yeah. I thought he was talking about making fun of my hair.
Once he said, well, we want you to wear wigs.
It was wild.
Now, so after SNL, how long before, Conan decided to leave, did you know you were going to do this show?
I didn't know at all until
Did you want it?
No. The talk show?
Yeah.
No, but it wasn't serious. Conan signed like a deal 5 years in advance or 6 years in advance, so there's no sense in thinking about it. It's like saying, hey, in 5 years, do you want to have a new car?
Right, but someone had mentioned it to you?
Lauren did, yeah. Lauren brought it up, and he goes, look, in 5 years, Conan's going to take over the Tonight Show. We'll need a talk show host. I think you could do it. You'd be good. And I remember Tina Fey was in the room too, and she was like, "Yeah, I think you'd be good.
Yeah.
You got the Irish charm. You like talking to people. Like, I think you'd be good." I was like, "Oh, I don't know. I'm gonna try movies. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do." She was like, "All right, well, let's keep in touch." Because I left I was not enemies with anybody at the show. That's purposely why I wanted to leave, because I just hear these horror stories, and I go like, I've never had a bad experience. I didn't want to start getting in these dumb fights and stuff. So I just left, and then I tried movies, and then 5 years later, I get a call from Lauren. I've seen them since. I've done bits on the show. I've done Barry Gibb or some different bits on the show, and then he goes, "Well, the time is now. I mean, now it's 5 years later. You still considering it?" I go, "Actually, yeah. I mean, it'd probably be awesome." Let me ask my wife. At this point now, I'm married. I talk to my wife. She goes, "You have to. This is like a no-brainer. Only two other people have done this: Letterman, David Letterman, Conan O'Brien, and you."
Yeah.
So if you don't make it, still you're on the list of 3 people who have, in the history have ever done it.
Got
got the shot. And I go, "Yeah, you're right." So then I got it, and I went on Conan, and he was always great to me, and that was my first ever talk show.
Yeah.
Was the Conan show.
He's a great guy.
He's the best guy.
Yeah.
He's so nice. I'm happy that everything worked out. Because I was like, well, so he started that, and then I'm like, all right, this is gonna be tough because Conan's been on, not like he's been on 5 years or 6 years, 16 years. So whatever show replaces a show that's been on for 16 years is gonna get hit. I mean, people aren't gonna like it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're so used to watching a show.
Yeah, okay. So that was how you were feeling when you went into it. But you do appeal to, you had a lot of fans. I mean, people like you.
Yeah.
But you kind of knew that. But you still thought like, oh, fuck.
I mean, I didn't have that many fans. I mean, I had a lot of fans, but I wasn't.
They hadn't seen you in a while?
After the Cab movie.
In Taxi?
Yeah, Taxi did. Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
It was after that one and Fever Pitch. Fever Pitch did okay, but it wasn't the number one movie. I mean, so my movie career was like kind of There's nothing really happening. I mean, I was doing independent movies. So
you're nervous.
I had people, but I didn't have
hundreds of thousands.
I couldn't sell out Radio City or anything.
Right.
So I just said, I got to kind of start from scratch. So Lauren told me, he's like, "Oh, I think you should go on the road. You should get back on the road," because I hadn't done stand-up in a while. So I was like, all right. So I just went.
Where's my troll doll?
Yeah, exactly. I go, I can't do the troll doll, right? But then I thought about it. I thought about it. I'm like, I just can't. I got to write a new thing.
You got to open up this weird old box.
An old notebook, and you're like, there it is. The magic jokes, where I even look at it now, I go, oh, it's not even that good. But I thought about it for a second, and then, but so I had my agents call everybody and the different comedy clubs and said, do you mind if I start doing some spots, like 10 minutes here and there? I don't want my name on the bill because I don't know if it'll be funny. I don't know. So I went to Zany's a lot, and I went to the Improv.
Chicago?
No, the one in Nashville.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great club.
Yeah.
And then I did.
So you actually were going, stealth. You were just going to different parts of the country, not even in the city.
No. Miami I did, and Arizona.
Uh-huh.
And I was just going up trying to do as much as I can. And
with impressions or just straight jokes?
Impressions, too. Everything. Music, songs, original songs. I added, I never did original songs before, so I started doing that. But I was opening for Owen Benjamin for a long time. And then I started, I met Wayne Fetterman again, who's a good friend, but I hadn't seen him in a while. I was at Nashville at Zany's, and weirdly enough, this MC doesn't know I'm on the bill, but also he didn't know, well, he did know I was on the bill, but the crowd didn't know that I was on the bill, and the crowd didn't know that Clint Black was going to go out and try stand-up because there was a new CBS show called Secret Talents of the Stars.
Yeah.
And Wayne was Clint Black's
writer guy?
Teacher, writer guy. So I got to see Wayne. I'm like, I'm starting to put an act together for this thing, and I don't know what, I'm okay with it, but he's like, oh, it'll be fine. Like, I'll go out on some days. I'll help you out. Like, I was so psyched that he was there because he's an old pal.
He's a good guy.
So me and Wayne started going around in different clubs, and then just started writing more and more material and just getting as much, so I can get probably an hour of stuff just so I can just start headlining at least. So I started headlining, and then I go, oh yeah, this is why I like headlining. I never liked headlining.
Yeah.
Because they give out the check and all that stuff, and it was such a thing. I wouldn't mind doing great in the middle and then leaving.
What'd you close with?
I would close with a song I do. I had a song called Cougar Hunting, I think.
Yeah.
Where I pretend I'm a cowboy singer. I'm talking about hunting cougars.
Yeah.
And then I did then I would do an encore of either some impression of some, or I had a list of impressions of comedians I would do.
Right.
So I do Chris Rock and Stephen Wright, and I just do it in a list. I say, here's a stopwatch. Here's every 10 seconds, tell me to change. I'll change to a different comedian. So I do, Adam Sandler. And I go,
Oh, yeah.
and Chris Rock would be like, crack! I don't know what I would do
Yeah.
with that, but I had it better then. And then I have, just walk around with Stephen Wright and just do some Stephen Wright thing. Then, and I just went down the list, and I probably closed with that one. But it was one of those things where, okay, so now I got that going. I'm used to seeing crowds, dealing with the crowds again. I did a lot of, I had maybe 5 or 10 minutes of just crowd work, just saying, what's your name, where are you from, what do you do for a living, stuff like that.
And just going off the cuff.
And just trying to see, to get my brain working again, And then I started doing internet shows, because Conan was still on. He's on for the last 3 months, and so I couldn't get into that studio to do stuff. So we were just waiting, and I was just doing shows from in here in this office, and editing it myself with this one producer on Final Cut Pro, and I would edit for like 3 hours for a 45-second piece. It's hard.
So you're starting to build up this internet presence, and people are coming around, right?
Yeah, it was like good. It was like people started talking, going, I like that thing you did, or I don't like that thing you did, which is helpful.
Yeah.
Which is I always kind of embraced the internet, but I mean, Twitter has just started. It's brand new, and Facebook is just growing. So it's like for people to go like, oh, I always used to like your bit, and I did this thing, I saw the troll bit, or whatever, and so then they start saying like, yeah, I don't know, like that one interview you did with Fred, that was weird. You mumble when you talk, and stuff like that. And so you look for kind of advice on what to do, and we got to announce that the Roots were going to be the house band on the internet.
And how did that come about, man? You were just into him, and how did that happen?
No, I was like I was kind of into him. I knew like maybe like a handful of songs, but I've seen him, outdoor events, stuff like that, and they're always great. And I've seen him back up.
Whose
people.
idea was that?
So it was Neil Brennan's idea, who's a producer on Chappelle's show. So I talked to Neil, and I go, yeah, I'm doing the show, and blah, 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 and I just need advice. I'm trying to figure out what to do. And he goes, who's going to be your house band? I go, I don't know. He goes, well, I always work with these guys who are the best on Chappelle's show, but you should ask the Roots. I'm like, you think the Roots would be my house band? He goes, no. They might know someone who they'll steer in that direction. Like they work with a bunch of people. And I was like, oh, okay. Then I go, well, what's the worst that could happen? They say no. And so I just asked them. And then I just asked them, and they were like, well, we just got off a tour. We've just been traveling 350-something days. So it's like we're exhausted, of going on the road, but we still want to play. We still want to do gigs. And I go, well, this is New York City. You can play anything. Yeah. Actually, my big pitch, I said, you could raise the bar of what a house band is. You can play with Tony Bennett, and you could play with Jay-Z.
Right.
Without blinking an eye.
Right.
If anyone sees them in concert, that they're that good.
Yeah.
They'll go in from the Seed 2.0 to Guns N' Roses to Inagata-Davida.
Oh, man, that week that you had all the guys doing Stone songs, that was amazing. That they were just right there. When they played with Elvis Costello, that was great.
They're phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, I could have them play with Elvis Costello, or even they play with Christopher Cross and play Ride Like the Wind.
Did you have him on?
Oh, yeah. We had
I miss that.
Christopher Cross, and then we had Michael McDonald walk out. Oh, no. Such a low way to go. It was off. People went nuts. It was a yacht rock themed night. That's the fun thing about the show. You can make your own, like you go like, no, this is the way we do it. This week we're going to have yacht rock music, where we have, Ambrosia going to sing, make a whistle, baby. And we can do those types of fun things.
And they're all still touring.
And they sound great.
Yeah.
And it's just like, but it's like, that's the one thing I said when we got a music booker. I got to hire everybody. Talent booker, music booker, like it's all on you.
Yeah.
So if you're going to go down, you might as well hire who you like.
Right.
I hired this guy. He's great. I said, look, he goes, what do you want? Just like, a bunch of indie bands and college bands? I go, no, I do. I want those, but I want everybody. I want something with a story. I want something fun.
Yeah.
I want everything. I want 1 week there to be hip hop and country music and 70s and 80s one-hit wonders. I love that type of stuff. Anything with a story where you're like, that's interesting.
Or like whatever happened to that guy?
Or any of that stuff. I love that. And you go like we just had, I'm trying to think of now when Stephen Bishop came on.
Really?
It was phenomenal. And then people loved it.
Hit? Wrapped up like
on and on. Yeah. It just keeps on trying. But he also had, you have no right to ask me how I feel. He wrote that.
Yeah.
He does a great version of that. So we had him do that.
You love music. You're like a music guy.
I love it so much. I grew up, my dad always had the radio on, my mom, so I just loved it, grew up with it. So, the fact that I can ever incorporate any music or any fun thing into the show is always fun, and using the internet too. Like now we have the internet, we have our website, we can put bonus songs on. Like Johnny Carson didn't have the internet, or else you would have gotten a bonus.
So now you were doing the show in here, and you were cutting stuff up. I remember you're putting stuff up, bits up, and you're getting a lot of feedback. You're building some excitement towards to coming on and hosting the show when Conan leaves. And then you come on, and it was interesting because when I watched the first few shows, I was like, well, he's going to wear the suit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He's going to go for that.
Yeah, he's going to do the suit thing. He's going to stand still and tell some jokes.
Tell some jokes, yeah.
And then he's
not really reinventing the wheel here.
Well, wasn't that? It's like that's a specific thing. I don't judge like that. I mean, doing the host thing on, being a talk show host. I mean, there is a tradition to it, and it doesn't need to be fucked with necessarily, that particular thing.
Yeah.
But you look pretty comfortable. You were telling jokes, and you weren't cracking up, and then too much, and then you sat down.
I didn't laugh myself that much.
But there was this thing, like right at the beginning, even when people were just starting to get into it or starting to react to it, I was like, well, I'll tell you one thing that he's doing that no one else is doing. He's having a fucking good time.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was sitting there watching it, and I'm like, why is this so great? And it's like, because he's fucking having a good time.
Yeah, and that's why but I really want to go, well,
I know you were.
If this only lasts a week, why would you not enjoy yourself?
Right, but you still seem to be doing that. Like when guests come on, you're excited to see them. You're a fan of people. You're not ashamed to be a fan of people.
I'm really not. I like movies. I like TV shows. I really do. I go home. I just saw the Woody Allen movie last night. I love watching movies.
How was it?
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually, it's very like kind of a whimsical, fun thing where you're like, oh, this is so fun. It's him being fun again.
Yeah.
And this, of course, there's always those scenes where you're like, come on.
He
no
in
one
it?
can relate to this. No, he's not in it.
Oh, that's good.
But Owen Wilson knocks it out of the park. It's
Does
good.
he?
It's really funny. It's you
How's
like
he
the
doing
idea of
in
it. It's
general?
good.
Are you guys friends?
No, we've never been friends, but we're not enemies. But
I wonder how he is. He's all
he
right?
looked good. He looked
Okay.
healthy in this movie. But I love those things, and I watch every reality show. I watch TV shows. I'm really into The Killing right now. That's the show I'm watching on AMC. But I watch, I am a fan of those things.
And you seem to figure out, you organize some writers that can write to your strengths, and you do, I've never seen episodic bits, really, in my recollection of things that actually unfold over a week, which is unique, and it's great. You're playing to your sketch, sensibilities, and your character playing sensibilities. You got AD Miles and all those guys.
Yeah, AD is phenomenal.
Yeah,
he's like,
sweet guy.
So he's the best. So, I mean, we have him doing he's the head writer, and he just, the guy's just, he can come up with a joke. Every day we always go, look, what do we laugh at? Like,
right.
we want to leave work going, that was a good laugh.
Right.
We had a really good laugh.
Right.
And we do. And we talk about that, and we go, God, what a blessing it is to just have one big laugh. Like, who else has a job like that? Where you can go like, that was so funny. Even when you made fun of me.
Right.
You came in, you made, sometimes Miles wore this khaki suit the other day. It was ridiculous. I thought it was Tom Wolfe.
Yeah.
It was like, so we all made fun of everybody, different at times.
Right.
But that means you're home.
Right.
When everyone can make fun of you. And it was just the best, and we're just laughing, but that's not even about the show.
Right. Are there any rules, though? I've heard that, you'd never want to come off as mean-spirited.
I don't like that type of comedy.
Right.
I mean, I don't like kicking people when they're down. Mm-hmm. I'll kick people when they're up.
Right.
So I'll do a couple mean-spirited jokes when they're up and they're popular or something.
Right.
But when they're down and out, it's just a tough time for them. I just feel a little bit, even no matter who it is. I just go like, well, someone else will cover me on that one.
Right. You don't.
I'm sure there'll be 10 other jokes.
Because you feel bad for them.
Kind of, yeah. And it's
Yeah.
like they're getting hit from all angles.
Right.
I like to if I can find a different way into it, it's always a more. I know that joke's gonna be made. Someone's gonna do it even better than me. So
Right.
it's like Susan Boyle when that came out. Everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, this lady, she's not good looking. This is insane. She's a man." And
Yeah.
all this, like, "Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
she's just a lady singing a song."
Yeah.
And that's all she did. So we did a bit where it's like everybody who came in and heard her singing was touched and sat down and reevaluated. Some people came in with one arm bleeding.
Yeah.
The copy machine's broken. They have one arm. I don't know. They don't explain why they lost. And then they hear her voice and they sit down. And we have some girl come in. She goes, I just got the results. I'm not pregnant. And she's crying.
Yeah.
She comes in, hears the song, and sits down, and smiles. Then another girl comes in and she has the thing. She goes, I just got the results. I am pregnant. And she's upset. But then she sees this, and then at the end, she passes the pregnancy test to the other girl, and then the guy with one arm is slapping 5 with the guy with 2 arms. You know, it's like, so we made it into a thing where that's a positive thing now.
Right.
But it's still funny.
Right.
You know, and it's that was one of my favorite things we did in the show, where I go like, oh yeah, we took what everyone else was doing, a negative thing, and we did a positive thing, and I think it was a cool thing. I hope that she could see that one day, or if she did, that would be cool. But I know it went viral on the web, but that would make her feel good, like, oh yeah, I made people happy.
So is that something you just had your whole life, where you just don't like feeling like you hurt someone's feelings, or it's just a negative thing?
I don't know. I mean,
because it's a real thing with you, right? It's not.
I think it's a guilt thing. It's probably an Irish guilt thing,
Yeah.
where I just want to make everyone feel good.
Yeah.
I think it's what it is.
Yeah,
I know you
yeah.
always get things out of people in these podcasts. These
No. We're doing good.
WTF. No,
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, you didn't get too much out of me.
No,
but
it was
you
great.
did. I don't know. See, now I feel like I should have done a song or something.
We can still do a song.
Yeah.
You want to do a song?
No, you don't want me to do a song, but
Sure.
I could.
Yeah, hell yeah. What, you got a new one?
I
You
could
got
do
anything?
one. It's kind of new.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give you a guitar.
All right. So this is a new one?
Not really.
All right.
It's a Bob Dylan thing.
Okay.
Because what we figured out we can do in the show is, like, if I do these impressions that everyone's always done, just as a way to tweak it so it's kind of funny now.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause how many people have you seen do Bob Dylan?
What?
150.
158.
1,000.
Okay.
Right, so this is a Bob Dylan type of thing, and his harmonic is always higher up. Neil Young's like, that's the kind of Neil.
Yeah.
Bob Dylan just hits the one high note
Right.
of the harmonica and just screeches it,
Right.
and just like, that's the way he plays it. So it likes to go. The boy in the neighborhood lives upstairs and it's understood. He's just there to take good care of me, like he's one of the family. Charles in charge of our days and our nights. Charles in charge of our wrongs and our rights. Charles in charge of our days and our nights. Charles in charge of our wrongs and our rights. I want Charles in charge of me. I want Charles in charge of me.
Awesome.
Right, yeah.
I thought your Neil Young was great too.
Neil Young, we did that. We did the first one we did was.
And you got to meet Neil too, right?
Yeah, he came up after the second time we did it. He came to the show. He goes, you know, Pants on the Ground was my biggest hit I've had in 10 years. And wearing the floppy hat and everything.
Yeah.
We just did a whip my hair thing with Springsteen. We had
Yeah.
Springsteen on.
Oh, you met him too?
Dude, that was the most fun. Springsteen was the best. That guy was like, he came for the whole show.
Yeah.
And he brought his own sunglasses from the Born to Run
Yeah.
tours.
Yeah.
Mirrored sunglasses, 78.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, I'll do a thing. You want to do a thing? Hey, all right, let's play something. We'll do something. So we recorded Neil Young doing "Whip My Hair." Will Smith's daughter has a song called "I whip my hair back and forth. I whip my hair." So it's like a pop song.
Yeah.
So this is Neil Young and Bruce Springsteen doing that. We just tried to make it more folky and nice. We're like, whip my hair back and forth. Whip my hair back and forth. Just whip it. Whip my hair back and forth. You gotta whip your hair. Just you go from Neil. So Neil go like, all the ladies, if you feel me, whip your hair. Do it, whip your hair. Whip your hair. Don't if it's long or short. Whip your hair. Do it, whip your hair. Whip your hair. Yeah, and and over and like that. So it's like the most ridiculous. And that was one of the hardest times. I go, don't laugh. Just don't laugh. Just, gosh, you make it through this without laughing. This would be so great. And he was so into it. And
Bruce was?
And at the end, he posed on me like the Born to Run out.
Yeah. Oh, that's fucking great.
Elbow on the shoulder.
Well, I'll tell you, man, I think you're doing a great job, and it's great talking to you. And
let's do this again, because this is always fun. I'm a huge fan of this podcast. They keep me entertained. You get some great interviews, man. You're really good.
I appreciate talking to a guy that's not ashamed to be a fan and has such a love of music and show business in a way, and you're putting good things out there, man.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
Thanks for talking to me,
Marc Maron.
That was my chat with Jimmy Fallon. A truly nice guy. Now let's do a little plugging. And by the way, thank you, Jimmy Fallon, for inviting me into your office and showing me your shit. All that cool, the guitars, the pickle in the ceiling. It was fun. Let's do some plugs, can we? Don't turn it off. Okay, I'm going to be in Edmonton at the Comic Strip tonight through the weekend. How about June 23rd, 24th, 25th, and 26th? That sounds right. Also, we're putting new episodes up at the Pod Shop, so you can go to WTFpodshop.com, and there's all kinds of cool new episodes up there. Patrice, Jim Norton, Zach Galifianakis, Attell, Dane Cook, Louis C.K., many of the great shows are up there now. You can also go to iTunes and search for WTF Premium and do that. What else do I want to tell you? This is pretty important. I am doing a benefit on June 29th at the Wiltern Theater, the big time comedy show. It's a Giraldo family benefit. This benefits Greg Giraldo's family. It's got an amazing lineup, the show. Attell, Tosh, Whitney Cummings, Jeff Ross, Bill Burr, Ralphie May, Andy Kindler. You can go to livenation.com/events, I think, but that's June 29th at the Wiltern Theater, the big time comedy show, a Giraldo family benefit. What else do I need to tell you? Is there something else I need to tell you? Oh, yeah, live WTF, June 28th at the Steve Allen Theater with Neil Hamburger, Rob Hubel, Seth Morris, Aparna Nancherla, I think I'm pronouncing that right, Eddie Pepitone, and, of course, Jim Earl. That's June 28th at 8 p.m. at the Steve Allen Theater. Get yourself some JustCoffee.coop. God, I haven't done one of those plugs in a while, but that's okay. You can get that at WTFpod.com. You can also get on the mailing list. You can pick up the apps. You can do all the business there. God, I gotta go. I think that's it. Okay, bye-bye.